G'day guys, Justin here, coming at you with another NBA Player of the Day video, this time for the 22nd of November 2017. And we only had one game yesterday, and today the NBA decided to really enthrall us all with 14 games. We had Charlotte getting the win over Washington, 129-124. John Wall with 31 points, 11 assists there, and Dwight Howard with 26 and 13 for the winners. Cleveland 119 defeated Brooklyn 109. LeBron with 33 points and 5 assists, leading the way for the Cavs, and 18 consecutive fourth quarter points, 23 for the fourth quarter as well. But I mean, it's only November. We'll wait until he does something relevant in the right time. Hollis Jefferson leading the way for Brooklyn with 20 points. Philadelphia with a 101-81 win over Portland. Embiid with 28 and 12 there for Philadelphia. Ben Simmons with 16, 9 and 8, going very, very close to another triple-double there. He's a shoo-in for the Rookie of the Year at the moment. And he's going to do something that guys like Kobe Bryant never did, and that was become the greatest player the country's ever seen. Shout out there. And a shout out to Andrew Gaze, who's currently the greatest Australian basketballer to ever play. Damian Lillard putting up 30 there for Portland in the loss. Miami and Dion Waiters finally broke Boston's winning streak at 16 games, 104-98. They had a terrible first quarter, Boston. In fact, they outscored Miami in the last three quarters by, I believe it was, 72 to, hang on, let me just double check. 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 82 to 77. So 5-point difference there. The Boston actually won the last three quarters, but they got blown out by 9 in the first. So unlucky there. Kyrie with 23 points in the loss. Again. Sorry, I'm a bit lost. Yeah, a little unfortunate there with Kyrie only getting the 23 points. But Dragic with 27 for the win. In Miami. Dion Waiters, another key contributor. I think he had 26. And Hassan Whiteside with 10 boards. New York with a 108-100 win over Toronto. Kyle Lowry dominating 25, 10 and 5 for the losing side. However, Tim Hardaway Jr. with a career-high 38 points, and Porzingis contributing with 22 and 12 there for the Knicks in the win. Houston, who at one point led by 48, defeated Denver 125-95. Ariza with 25 points leading the way. Chris Paul with 23 and 12. James Harden flirting with a quadruple-double. I believe he had 21-9. 21-9 and 9. I think he had 7 turnovers as well, so nearly a quadruple-double. Great efficiency there. And Will Barton had 20 points for Denver in the loss. Dallas with a game winner by Harrison Barnes with 0.5 to go, 95-94. Barnes leading the way with 22 and 9 for the winners. Meanwhile, Tyreke Evans leading the way for Memphis with 18. Marcus Gasol with 10 boards. Minnesota 124 defeated Orlando 118. Aaron Gordon with 26 points for Orlando. Vucevic with 14 rebounds, and Elfrid Payton with 13 assists. Just unfortunately couldn't get it done. Over at Minnesota, who was led by Jimmy Butler with 26. Karl Anthony Towns had another 20-point game with 13 boards to boot. And I believe Jeff Teague had a reasonably good scoring game, and he was their leader with 11 assists. New Orleans defeated the Spurs by 17, 107-90. Anthony Davis leading the way with 29 points and double-digit rebounds. Meanwhile, DeMarcus Cousins had 15 rebounds, the leading rebounder there, and also had double-digit, had 20-point scoring as well, which was handy. Rudy Gay, the top scorer, with 19 for the Spurs. OKC 108 defeating Golden State 91, but remember, it's only November. All bloody excuses floating around. Steph Curry leading the way with 24.6 assists for the Warriors. However, Russell Westbrook with 34, 10 and 9 absolutely killed it for OKC. Paul George, a key contributor there as well. Milwaukee minus Giannis Antetokounmpo won 113-107, despite the fact Phoenix sent it into overtime by Devin Booker. Chris Middleton with 40 points, 9 rebounds, and Eric Bledsoe with 30.7 assists leading the way there, while Devin Booker had 23 for Phoenix. Chicago losing to Utah 110-80. Derek Favors leading the way with Utah with 23 and 7. 15 points to Robin Lopez for the Bulls. Sacramento beat the Lakers 113-102. 26 points to Cauley Stein and 20 points to my man Caldwell Pope. But my player of the day, as I mentioned, comes from the the Clippers versus Atlanta. The Clippers with a 116-103 win in a regular season win there. Blake Griffin with 26 points and 10 rebounds and 10 assists. He had a triple-double. Unfortunately, he had a very high turnover rate, which cost him dearly. Marco Bellinelli with 20 points, and the rookie John Collins dominating for Atlanta as well. Again, just a rookie that needs to be kept an eye on. He's flying under the radar majorly there. He's certainly a top 5 rookie in this league, no doubt about it. But surprisingly, my player of the day out of all of that was DeAndre Jordan. Bit of deflation there, I can sense. But I gave him a total impact score of 0.289 with his contributions across the board. And he's got efficient night, which you'll see in a second. 14 points and 16 rebounds, only 2 of those offensive. So he could have done a bit more work on the offensive glass, particularly in a game like that against Atlanta, who was red hot and was just getting inside looks. Guys like John Collins absolutely dominating on the glass, which was very good to see for a young guy. For someone like a seasoned vet like DeAndre Jordan, who's being told he's getting shot around, he probably wanted to get more offensive glass there. So again, 14 points, 16 rebounds, 2 offensive, 2 assists, and 2 blocks. However, he shot 100% from the field, and he shot 100% from the stripe. No 3-pointers attempted. Only the 1 turnover to go with the 2 personal fouls. So defense negated a little bit. And John Collins certainly had his number today, but the 1 turnover speaks of high volumes and high volume efficiency. And as I mentioned, 100% shooting in all assets from the field and from the stripe, certainly a bonus. We have 37 minutes of play. It's only obviously going to be a brief rundown, but as I mentioned, just the way I score things, and I'll give you a prime example here of what I do. So as I go into it, I'll do the maths for you so you guys can go through and work it out yourselves. It's pretty basic. It's real simple, and it's something I think you guys can do as well. And it's just as I said, I call it the impact score. It's the total impact these people have in the game. So if I go through, so DeAndre Jordan was 14 of their 116 points, so 14 divided by 116. See where I'm going with this. 2 of their 4 blocks, so 2 divided by 4. He had 2 of their 30 assists, 2 divided by 30, 16 of their 33 rebounds, 16 divided by 33. So the percentile impact he has on that particular area. 14 to 27 defensive rebounds, so 14 divided by 27. 2 divided by 6 as far as offensive rebounds are concerned. 2 of 13 as far as free throws are made. No stats in the 3-point column, so you don't worry about that. Same with steals. You just, they're not a contributor there, so you just leave it. 6 and again, that's also impactful when you look at it because that's just one less category they go into. There's no point dividing 0 by whatever because it's 0. And when you add it all up, it's not going to make a difference anyway. So 6 divided by 4, 44 as far as shots taken, and 37 divided by 48. 37-10 divided by 48 as far as minutes are concerned. And that's how I get the score. So overall, by the time you take into effect that Blake Griffin had 6 turnovers, he had 10 missed shots from the field, he had 5 missed 3-pointers, and he had 3 of their 6 missed free throws. It has a massive impact on this game, and 3 of the 15 fouls as well. So that's just one thing you've got to look at when I'm looking at it, so to speak. And yeah, that's how I come up with it, and that's how I came to DeAndre Jordan as my player of the game and the impact score of 0.289. So as I said, I will read through the rundown of his game. He had a give and go on the wing with Lou Williams, who hit the corner over Bazemore, and this is something that I'll get into in a second. The impact Williams is having over someone like a Jamal Crawford's proving why Crawford was an overrated 6-man. He cut from the top of the key to receive a bounce pass from Williams for the jam by just as he went by Bellinelli. Marco Bellinelli continuing to be a threat outside with the game, with an outside game this season for the Hawks, particularly with that young side. Dennis Schroeder probably wants to give the ball up a little bit more. When you've got Bazemore, you've got Collins, and I mentioned Bellinelli there. They are a good unit that can play, despite the fact that they lost Paul Millsap, which was a worrying sign for them at the start of the year. He then received a pass from Blake Griffin under the rim for the baby hook that was just basic stuff, open and spaced. I mean, Blake Griffin comes down the lane in that early season form he had. If he starts to pick that up, DeAndre Jordan's going to be open all the time. And that's something that needs to be noted too. The open drives, despite the fact DeAndre was in this game, he did have minimal impact there, which is something I want to give Collins credit for. His ability to get body on DeAndre Jordan and move him out of the way was spectacular. For a young guy and to create space for his teammates. DeAndre was getting away with illegal screens. He always does, but that's just how it was. He then had an alley-oop dunk from Williams and from a Lou Williams pass to dunk past John Collins. Collins really not wanting to get up in the airspace and get in the way of that. He then had an uncontested dunk following the bounce pass from Lou Williams. Again, the impact that Lou Williams is having compared to a Jamal Crawford. Crawford came off the bench and gave 15, 16 points a game, but the problem is he was shooting inefficiently. He was turning the ball over and he was creating isolation offense and disrupting the offensive flow of the game. Very similar to what Austin Rivers did at the end of this game, but that's another thing that we can get into later. After he had the uncontested dunk, he had the offensive tap out to Blake Griffin, which was one of his offensive rebounds. It was just simply slapped it out to Blake Griffin, who then hit Lou Williams up for the open shot. Who hit Wesley Johnson up for the open shot. Wesley Johnson, the player who's been a key contributor for the Clippers this year. He then had a defensive rebound following a Dennis Schroeder miss through the outlet to Blake Griffin, simply tapped it over the defender's head and scored the dunk. Then had an offensive rebound to tip in following Rivers' missed floater, which was really strange. One thing that I think is certainly going to kill the Clippers, and obviously has killed them this year, has been the isolation play and the reliability on someone like an Austin Rivers. Austin Rivers is purely there, in my opinion, because of Doc Rivers. If Doc wasn't there, Austin would be gone. And honestly, they need to hurry up and get rid of him because he's an absolute offensive chemistry killer. And that's honestly what's killing the Clippers at this point. They're just Austin comes in, he breaks up the offense, isolation dribble. He was great in college and high school, good on him, but he's done nothing at the moment in the NBA and continues to do nothing. I wouldn't brag about it. It'd be like Kobe bragging about how well he played in the 2000 finals against Austin Crozier. He didn't play that well. Throws following a Kavanaugh shooting foul and then get on another play. He then gathered the offensive rebound. He passed out to Blake Griffin, had the give and go with who then passed it back out to DeAndre. He had a give and go situation with Evans and he cut to the hoop for the jam following the bounce pass. Just again, something that I mentioned Detroit need to do. Rather than rush these offensive plays, they need to get the ball out. They need to set up and really utilise it. Only problem with the Clippers is that they've got a couple of guys there that are going to kill their offense with their isolation play, but the idea is there to set up and readjust. When you've got someone like a Blake Griffin, who at his peak is a top 3 to 5 player in the league, I don't see why you don't do it. And then finally, he spotted Bembry's shot against the backboard, which was a huge play there. And one of the key plays, because they eventually started to get a lead here, the Clippers, and by the time the Hawks tried to get the game back, something like that just demoralised them. And as I mentioned, the Clippers were able to run away with the game and get the win. So, as I mentioned, my player of the day for the 22nd of November 2017 was DeAndre Jordan of the Los Angeles Clippers in a win against the Atlanta Hawks, against a gallant Hawks, particularly the likes of John Collins, young guys banging inside, getting boards and scoring, which is definitely what they wanted. I mean, had Collins had a bad offensive night, we'd be sitting here talking about how DeAndre had 23 rebounds, I reckon, easy. It was just one of those games where Collins played well. Again, total impact score of .289, 14 points, 16 rebounds, only 2 offensive. Only qualm there was the fact that he didn't have more O boards. And, that's a shame, particularly the fact that that's probably why DeAndre's offensive boards were up. Jamal Crawford used to play for him. Anyway, 14 points, 16 rebounds, 2 offensive, 2 assists and 2 blocks, 100% from the field, though, which is something I want to point out. Got to utilise DeAndre when he's in this form, even if he's only close to the hoop. LeBron's always close to the hoop when he's scoring. And DeAndre's providing better defense. I mean, if you're going to give each guy 30 shots a game and you're going to tell him to play all over the court as well, I might just take DeAndre. It's a scary thought, just with the roundedness. So 100% from the field and 100% from the stripe. Only the 1 turnover and the 2 fouls. 2 fouls certainly negating some of that defensive effort there, but the 1 turnover and the efficiency scoring showed that he was able to maintain and make the most of his possessions. And when you get limited possessions, that's the aim of the game. And as I mentioned, with a total impact score of .289, when you're limited to 14 points, that's pretty damn good. In only 37 minutes of play. So again, a win by the Clippers, something that they're going to need to build on for the rest of the season, or at least for the next week, because they're trying to get out of dire straits here and could be trouble. Anyway, guys, that's been me. Thank you very much for watching the video. Hit that like button and let me know who your player of the day was. Again, I've just run you through how I'm grading things. Even if there's a game that you'd like me to have a look at, not necessarily the play-by-play, but here's a challenge. Anyone that sees the video, go through if you've managed to last this long, and let me know 5 games ever. I'd probably suggest that you do them probably from 1980 onwards, from the start of the 1979-80 season, so we can include the steals, the blocks, the three-point shot as well, so we have more of a modern idea. But which modern game, from which 5 modern games would you like me to have a look at? Is it Kobe's 81-point game? Is it Devin Booker's 70-point game? Let me know what you think and what you want me to do as far as impact scores are concerned. So again, thank you very much for watching the video. Hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment, who your player of the day was, and what you thought of the grading system explanation. Subscribe to the channel. I'm always giving daily updates as much as I can. Hit me up on Twitter, Justin_J_Bryan, always there. Always having a bit of a chat about sports and life in general. Always up for a conversation, and I post my links to my content on there as well, so you can always keep up with it. Check out my poll, who your current MVP is at the moment. My options in the 2 polls, I have Giannis, James Harden, Kristaps Porzingis, and Russell Westbrook in one, I do believe. And in the second poll, I have DeMarcus Cousins, I have Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving in the other option. Again, if you vote other and your person's in the next poll, probably don't vote other, just vote in the other poll. Try not to sway the votes too much. So again, that's been me. Thank you very much for watching. Again, my player of the day for the 22nd of November 2017, with a total impact score of .289, DeAndre Jordan of the LA Clippers in a win against the Atlanta Hawks. 14 points, 16 rebounds, 2 of those offensive, 2 assists, 2 blocks, 100% from the field, 100% from the stripe, 1 turnover, 2,037 minutes a game. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys with another player of the day video when I can.